Greetings. I am Tom Earl. Welcome back to the celebration. We know you could be anywhere. So the fact that you are here today sharing your beautiful, wonderful gifts of your time and energy, it means the world to me. A reminder, you are valued, you are appreciated, you are loved just as you are. Back again, episode 3, we have Emoja Sumler, aka Lil Tankie that could, once known as Mo Man, in the house. How are you doing, my wonderful friend?
Man, so good. So good. Thanks for having me.
This is the best. Okay, let's go relax into the camera off mode. I have been kind of steering us. I'm wondering if there's a direction, a question, anything you want to throw into the space to get us started.
No, my mind's going a million places and I can't settle on any one thing, man. I'm just excited for any and everything, man. Keeping myself curious.
That's a good place to start. Curiosity. You kind of shared, like, I've been through this, I've been through that, and that gives a lot of reason why I have the ability to, the courage to be myself and to be curious. And yet I know people who have been through similar circumstances that you have been that don't have curiosity. So I think it's also some sort of internal journey that you've taken yourself on to cultivate those skills.
To your point, yeah. I mean, look, man, I'm not here to say that curiosity isn't its own liability. You know what I'm saying? Like, you find yourself in a dangerous situation, you're pulled over and 18 cops come across, right? And you're like, I wonder what's going to happen. I'm just going to stay open, right? It's probably not going to work out. You know what I'm saying? So curiosity does. And like, when you went through the shit I went through, like, again, Tom, no cap, right? Most of the people that listen to podcasts, much less mine or yours, right, are not people who have literally had guns pulled on them, right, in anger, right? I've had guns pulled on me and multiple times, right? I don't. Do you remember? You were there at Southern Fried, huh? And where were we? Not. I keep wanting to say Fort Lauderdale, but it wasn't Fort Lauderdale. It was Orlando, right?
Oh, Tampa.
Yeah, Tampa. We're at the host hotel, and the cops come and they're trying to force everybody to go in, and it's me and Just Cause and one more poet, Brendan Chemtrails, who I love a lot, right? And we're all like out there quoting federal law to these law enforcement officers, like, we are consumers enjoying a praxis at a place. This is a private institution. This is owned by this Hyatt or whatever host hotel we were at. We are all clients of this place. Our colleagues have rented this place out for a week, but more than that, we have the constitutional right to assemble. Like, these are real stands that lots of people saw. And like, literally law enforcement is like, because they're not used to being challenged, even in a respectful way. Like, I'm not trying to step to them, but I'm like, you're not about to make us all go in because you see a bunch of what you think is just black people wilding. We're fucking professionals. We've all had crazy fucking bouts, and we're trying to let off a little bit of steam, respectively. We at this hotel that we are the number one client here. We're all out here. Maybe some people are having drinks. Maybe some people are being loud, but no one here is being dangerous. No one here is being a threat to this fucking culture. No one. That's not happening. You're wanting to move us in because you don't feel comfortable looking at black people in this state of joy and intoxication. It makes you unhappy and it makes you feel threatened. And that's something deep inside you that only you can answer. But I am here to tell you right here as an advocate for my fucking people, right? Because poetry is a family, right? I'm the person with the specialized knowledge to be able to speak to them in this way and doing this and having motherfuckers chamber rounds. Like in front, like literally, like I drew down on these cops. These motherfuckers are drawing down. They're loading their service weapons, which is the last step before committing normally fatal violence against someone that is unarmed and simply just challenging your worldview. And this is one of those situations where, again, in the right time, this would have been viral and everybody be saying, oh, look at this guy. But this shit was not me out there. Like, I ain't be like, hey, you motherfuckers. Hey, go live on Facebook. Let's get this shit real quick. Like, that's not me. Like, I'm not trying to go viral. I'm not stunning. I'm not virtue signaling to a fucking internet that does not know me. But this is literally me putting myself in the line of actual fire, documented by hundreds of people that witnessed this, right? Like I'm built different than these motherfuckers, man. Like I've been shot at. Like it makes everything a little bit different. Like the stakes are always just a little bit different from me. Like, because it's like, this is not intellectual for me, you know? Like I don't say any of this shit as braggadocio. I don't say it to be like, oh, I'm tough. Because if I had a choice, I would have rather none of that shit happen to me. I would have rather me never have to prove how tough I am or how fucking down I am. You know, for people that still don't give a fuck. They believe what they want to believe about you. You know what I'm saying? Regardless as to what you demonstrate in your life. Like for these people, but these are my values, right? Like this is how I believe. And like in this place, I'm gonna step up and be that person. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it makes it, I can be creative still because I have not let the cynic in me win. I can be creative because I can hope for a better world. I can try to speak a better world into existence. I can try to live an example of a life that people can look at and verify the verifiable things about me, right? Whereas like, oh, look at this shit that this person has done for years and everyone has seen this shit. It's not a rumor. This is shit I saw with my own fucking eyes, right? Live that kind of fucking life, whereas people can stand on that. But, you know, at the end, the easiest, most convenient thing is what people gonna remember or choose to propagate about you anyway. You can't change any of that. You'd be a gaslighter if you did. It's motherfuckers that love me. It's motherfuckers that hate me. And I'm not here to validate or invalidate any of their fucking worldviews as it relate to me. I'm just here to live my personal fucking morality to the best that I can. And I'm always creative about how I could be better at doing that. I can talk about guns in my rhymes because I grew up with guns. I've been shot at. I've seen, you know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't me like just saying this shit. It's like, oh, wow, this would be real. This would be a controversial statement, especially in an era where everybody's like, oh, we've got to get guns off the street. Again, I just ask you the simple fucking question. How you going to do that? What's your plan? I'm here to listen. I'm hopeful that your plan might be some shit I haven't thought about and that it'll go way better than I imagine it's going to go.
Because otherwise it's a waste of time.
Otherwise, I know you saw V for Vendetta, right?
Yep.
Right? Remember that part where V is talking to Evie and he's like, and right about this time, the thing will happen about what happens when people without guns stand up to people with guns. Like, that's like one of the realest lines I've ever heard in a fucking movie, man. Because the bear don't give a fuck about your superior argument.
One of the songs I want to talk about is Stages of Grief. That's one of the song. I really like that song. If
Thank you.
Okay to phrase it that way on a song called Stages of Grief. What would you like to share? Anything about whether it's the process of creating it, how it came about, the lyrics, what it means to you, anything you want to speak to on that song?
I love Stages of Grief, man. So there's actual several projects I'm working on right now. There's my project, which is Sex and 762's Pro Popolo, which is Latin phrase. It means for the people. Is another way of saying power to the people. You know what I'm saying? And I'm also working on a project with my homie, Amin TMK. In poetry, motherfuckers know him as Drew Lock. As a Palestinian man, I mean, we have such deep connections, right? Me being Hebrew, him being Palestinian. It's a very unlikely friendship. But like our core ideals in leftism is what drew us to, and then to know that, you know, he had a lot of love for hip hop, had came up through the battle rap world, you know, and we're just, you know, it's the pandemic, right? It's like, well, how do we still create responsible art, right? And it's interesting to use a word like responsible art when I talk about a lot of gangster shit, but that's just reality, right? What I mean by responsible art is art where I am not purposely creating the conditions which will harm other people. That is to say, in the middle of a pandemic, although it's great for my fucking ego to have 10,000 people in the crowd that I could show my fucking my art, you know, my merchandise and all that shit, and say hoorah and make the crowd rock and feel what I want them to feel, and then they buy my shit. That's not ethical. We have a pandemic, and like most of the art we make should be for digital spaces right now. Shit where people can privately entertain themselves in their earbuds, or alone in their house, away from other people, because it's not the fancy answer right now, but the fact is we are still in the pandemic. And if you claim to care about the quantity of people alive, you're anti-death penalty, you're pro-life, then how in the fuck can you be for giving people an ailment like that still is killing people, right? Mm-hmm. Like, and so like making music was the easiest thing we could do right now. It's like, I can make music, I can make videos, I can have shit that people can privately enjoy, even though financially that's not the best solution for me. It's way better than going on these stages and doing poetry or even doing this hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like, Stages of Grief was me coming to terms with how my relationship with poetry had changed, embracing the worst things that people say about me, the best things that people say about me, and understanding sometimes even the people that love me from a little bit of a distance. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a little bit too controversial to be like, oh, I really love this guy. Whereas if you believe what I believe, it shouldn't be controversial that I say this shit, especially if you don't have the courage to say it, but you deeply believe it. You know what I'm saying? Stages of Grief was about coming to terms with all that, because Stages of Grief is what I went through with my disillusioned relationship with poetry. So like, that's the project I'm working on with Amin TMK, him making his evolution to move straight back to music, and just to tell those stories. And again, because I feel like hip hop is a universal medium, we going through all these beats, man. And like, we got this beautiful classical track where the piano is just going the fuck off, and I've seen about how Jay Electronica's first mixtape was like him going over the soundtrack for Eternal Sunshine and wanting to have a similar moment, right? To have a similar demonstration of technique and to really be able to bring, talking about why I came to music and what I get from music from that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just a wonderful opportunity, and it talks about how I evolved as a human who, again, in the South Side of Chicago, I was getting beat up every day for being what they call a midget. You know what I'm saying? For being a short Black kid, right? Only having to earn respect, like, hoping to myself, okay, look, I'm never going to fight this person more than once. I'm going to fight him, at least even if I don't win, to a point whereas he will never fucking want to engage me in a physical confrontation ever again, right? Coming from that world where so much of my innocence was lost, where so much of my, not again, to not even go have a place where you can go home and then get consolation because, I'm probably getting my ass beat by my mom or my dad because I don't want to take human growth hormone because you know what I'm saying? Like, I like my body. Well, like, why do I have to take this shit? Just so I'll be bigger, so I can be more respected by other people. Like, these are things very few people in poetry even know about me. Like, this is the reality I came from. You know what I'm saying? To be able to write a song like Stages of Grief, where I'm talking about my evolution from that innocence to a person now where it's like, how do you want to engage with me? What do you want to do? Would you want this shit to be intellectual? You want this shit to be physical? Do you want this shit to be love? Do you want this shit to be violent? Like, what do you want? You get to choose that adventure. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to bring it to the fullest. Whatever you want from me, I'm going to give you that twice. You know what I'm saying? Like, Stages of Grief is me throwing that flag on the fucking ground. It's like, I'm here for conversations. Anybody got questions? Come to me and ask them. Let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying? And you go away from that and you believe what you want to believe. But I'm gonna live my fucking truth. You know what I'm saying? I won't let your truth be my fucking truth. Not when I've lived it. And I won't be afraid of you. Not when I've been in literal mortal danger, not a metaphor.
There are some I know you're just talking, but there was some poetry right in what you were saying, that I'm gonna have to listen back to. What you just said right now. What did you say? I'm going to double down on it. Do you remember what you said?
Whatever you want, whatever's your experience, I'm going to bring it to you twice.
Yes, that's what's the one.
If you want love, I'm going to love you. I need family. You know how much I've craved a family? Like motherfuckers that really believe in you and back you and try to fucking encourage you and make you your best you. No one needs family more than me, man. I've always wanted family. But in my experience, family has always been a toxic thing wrapped around a bunch of lies that look like love.
That's as someone, you know, who's in a process of creating a family,
right?
Unraveling that right there. You know, the big book for me that really started me on this journey was All About Love, Bell Hooks. How do I have a love ethic? How do I verb love and have the self-awareness to understand when, especially as somebody who has the language and the tools, how do I make sure that I'm not faking it, but using the right words and the right tools? And I heard someone use a phrase, weaponizing vulnerability.
Absolutely. Slam made a career out of weaponizing vulnerability.
That I find is that takes so much, just like curiosity. It's like I'm always on this pendulum of like curiosity, but how do I trust myself, but also recognize that I might be the monster. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. It's important that you consider that you have been several times in your story and others, and you can't control that. All you can hope to be is better than you were, and make amends to the extent that that's possible.
How do you, on your journey of that, if this is even a question that makes sense, how do you, when you see in the mirror, like, okay, yes, that isn't my bad, when you, like you said, make amends and then do better, how do you not continue to almost like want to hurt yourself emotionally as a form, like punish yourself, you know, this kind of like punitive, how do you not do that to yourself?
So ask yourself, is this going to make a better version of you? If you hurt yourself, are you going to be better? Right? Even that kind of violence can be performative. I'm doing this because it's important that people know I suffered and I'm better now. Right? Like, that's not to say it's strictly performative. It's not. Who knows what you get out of it? But for me, I make my best decisions when I put myself in my best position to make a good decision. Right? I think about it as like being Jewish. Right? We think about food not in the Christian sense of like how sin is representations of good and evil, but as a Hebrew, we think about sin as a clean and unclean, right? If my body, if my vessel is in a state of cleanliness, I am probably going to be able to move through the world in a way, whereas I am, the residuals of what I leave is my cleanliness. If I am unclean, as I move through this world, the residuals of what I leave will be unclean. I will bring that uncleanliness to other avenues. I will make worse decisions. I will be not in the best position to do my best performance, right? And I think about that. So hurting myself doesn't necessarily put me in a position to walk through the world without causing more hurt, because as the cliche goes, hurt people, even if I'm the one that hurt me. You know what I'm saying? I got too many friends that need love and fear love. They're terrified of the consequences of love. So they don't even want to engage. They assume not loving is not as low a place as loving and losing, right? Like, and that's a tough place, right? But you are causing yourself harm by not allowing love in, right? That's harm you're doing to you, right? If you love someone and that love goes wrong and they harm you, you didn't harm you because you believed the best possible thing. You loved, you opened yourself up for a place of love. And now this person has betrayed that love. Yeah, you're hurt, but the difference is you didn't hurt you. Someone else hurt you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to hurt me. I've been hurt enough in this world. I feel like I'm not due one more ounce of fucking hurt. I've heard enough.
This is, I think, why don't we, because I want people to think on this one, what you're just saying now over the course of this next week. And I want some folks even to, if you have the time, hit the back 15 seconds button 10 times. Listen to what Lil Tankie just said again. maybe even we'll edit this part out, throw some music behind it, put it out as a standalone clip. Cause it's something definitely I'm gonna listen to over and over again as I go for a walk, because this right here that was amazing. That was amazing.
Thank you, sir.
You know, I think let me pick up, because otherwise I'm gonna run us over time. I'm gonna pick up with this. Let me write it down. I'm gonna write it down. We're gonna pick up there next week. So think on this, y'all. Think on this. Where can folks get at you, and what is your invitation?
You can get at me in all of the places that you consume media. I've got books, throw in Emoji Sumler, Fables, Foibles, and Other American Sins. I've got music, throw in Lil Tankie and whatever music avenue you use. My invocation for you guys would be for this week: be gentle with yourself, right? In line of what we said. Find a way to be gentle with yourself, whatever that means. Maybe that means taking an extra long bath. Maybe it means getting yourself that steak if that's what's going to make you feel happier, right? Maybe it means a nice glass of wine or a chocolate that you give for yourself, right? Don't tell nobody about it. Do it just for you. Be gentle with yourself. Maybe it means you forgive yourself if you know that you're working at being better, right? Maybe it means you demonstrate that better in a non-performative way, a way that really helps to change you. There we go.
I have nothing to add on that one, but a highlight, underline, enlarge it, put it on a billboard, that right there. Okay. I am grateful. I am grateful for you. And I am grateful to all of those of you who shared this with us by listening. And we hope you'll join us next week for the final one of this series. As always, we're wishing you peace and blessings. Thank you.
One more thing. I'd love to continue the conversation. Feel free to join me at tomearl.com/join. Subscribe below, or let's connect on social media. Tom Earl Artist. Thanks again for watching.